Why, hello.
Hello. We're here
I
in a new, well, kind of new place because we're
Yes.
on YouTube and not
you've
Facebook.
streamed to
YouTube.
YouTube before.
We
We're
have.
back.
It's normally not you doing it. It's normally
That's
you
true.
doing it.
And now I'm getting yelled at that the stream's current bit rate is lower than the recommended bit rate. Well, why the fuck didn't you
Shucks,
say that
man.
earlier, stream? That's an easy fix, except for when I started streaming. Can I edit that?
You can change that midstream. Yeah.
Okay, all right, I can see if I remember how to do that. I haven't had to do it in so long.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's also a good song.
Yeah, dude.
Oh man. Anyways, boys, it's been like a couple weeks since we've all been able to get on here together.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So how have you been?
Been good, man. Been good. Living life, playing a lot of video games. I had this last weekend off. I played so much video games. Oh my god.
I know. I was very jealous watching you play all those video games, honestly. What about you, Tim?
I've been busy, but I've been forcing there to be more time to play video games. I've been in voice chat more,
Yeah.
That's true. You have been in voice chat more.
being social,
Mm-hmm.
trying to not be miserable all the time.
That is great to hear.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's nice when you're you're socializing with your friends. Even if you don't get to play the games with them.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the other night, I just hopped in with Justin and I think Matt and Coco and I think Shane was in there for a little bit, and they were playing Hunt, and I used the OBS virtual camera to like stream to Discord me playing Soul Blade.
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah, you tell me
Some
about that.
old shit.
Yeah, some old Soul Calibur, but no Nightmare. And when you get knocked over, you can't instantly roll. You are stunned for a second.
Very different game.
I think,
Different time.
yeah. I got knocked down and then I got kneed in the nuts at one point. It was pretty funny. Mitsurugi does not have a beard, and it's very weird.
So weird, dude.
I know you
Babyface
keep bringing it
Mitsurugi.
up.
It's weird. He's
Yeah,
always
yeah.
had a beard as long as
I
I can
know, it's
remember.
true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. God, it's so nice to go back and play old games sometimes. Like, I feel like because there was like less, there was less technology or whatever, but like there were limits, right? So it kind of forced them to put more into like other aspects sometimes. No, it wasn't like I was just watching a video earlier for no reason. Freaking Zelda, Breath of the Wild. Hi, that's my dog.
He's so cute. He's a good boy.
He is a good boy, but I think he's being annoying now because I have a feeling I know why he's here. But anyways, like I was watching who the heck like Breath of the Wild at 4K or no 8K on a 4090. Like, yeah, that's cool and all, but like come on, man. Like, let's get the second one out or whatever. You know what I mean? Let's move on. I don't know, man. It's just kind of
There's more to a game than how many polygons you can fit in there.
Weren't you playing
Right.
Skyrim 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, I was playing Skyrim with a bajillion mods, but yeah, I had like over 1,000 mods on that hoe. But yeah, there was, but because it makes Skyrim like a new game. Because Skyrim itself, like the base of it is really really good. Obviously, right? It's been sold on fucking Alexas. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
that was funny.
So of course, if I can dip my toes back into that and make it kind of a new experience, that's always nice. So. But anyways, yeah. So, boys, we're just gonna kind of jump into this.
Yeah.
Game Awards tomorrow. I think we're streaming.
We're going to stream the Game Awards.
Yes. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know what time any of this starts. So help me.
6:30 Central.
Yeah, 6:30 our time. I think is when the pre-show starts, and that's for like half an hour. I think before the show proper.
It just says the Game Awards airs live and free on Thursday, December 8th at 7:30 Eastern. So, okay. I don't know if that means pre-show starts at 6 or 6:30. I don't know.
Okay. Expectations. We'll get to what we picked here in a little bit, but like anything you expect to happen outside of what games win what category.
Kojima is going to appear and say something not related to video games at all.
He's gonna talk about his
Cool.
fucking podcast.
Was
Yeah.
that last Game Awards that he did that shit? He came out and he's
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, I have a podcast. Come
It was
come listen."
Summer Game Fest, yeah.
And Jeff has been on that podcast, so you know something's going to
Yeah.
happen.
Oh, probably, yeah.
I think we're gonna get release dates for Starfield and Redfall. Been a
I
lot of
hope
buzzing
so.
about Starfield lately. A lot of new things announced. Todd Howard, I just watched like a 3-hour long interview where he was talking about the game, and like he was talking about other things too, but he was talking about the game.
Yeah.
Largely, and yeah, I do expect that we'll probably get. They're talking about it more openly, whereas for the last few months they kind of went into quiet mode for it. I was hoping it would come out in March. I think they're gonna announce it for later in the spring, maybe May or even June, maybe summer.
Mm.
And that sucks, but also like I think we're gonna get a date.
Isn't that a huge pushback? 6 months at that point because it was 7
It
months.
was supposed to be 11/11, yeah.
Right. So
But
it'd be
they
7 months.
but they said nothing about. They only said it'll come out in 2023,
Right.
and the speculation was, oh, they'll probably delay it to
February.
to like
Yeah.
February or March.
Yeah.
Maybe it's wishful thinking that I don't want it to come out in February because that's gonna be it's gonna have enough releases, but
Right.
but
Another busy
I do
February.
think
Yeah.
I think that it needs a little more time in the oven, and I think they're gonna say May or June. So
Question, because I was watching a video, and it was Mr. Matty Plays because that's who I like to watch, and he brought up an interesting point from that interview. I think it's the same interview that you're talking about, Tim.
probably I didn't know
About
he watched it. That's funny.
well, he made a whole video, but I'm just gonna break this down to one question. But I suggest people go to Mr. Matty Plays and watch his video on it because he deep dives this whole thing. But would you be disappointed in 2023, the year of our Lord, if Starfield is locked at 30 FPS and is not 60?
Yeah.
No. Depends. Am I playing it on a 1080p computer?
It's locked at 30.
I don't think it would bother me in a single player game so much. Like I played context. I played through Cyberpunk on my RX 590. I played it mostly at about 45 frames a second. So if it's a smooth 45 frames a second, it didn't bother me. If it's a smooth 30 frames a second, Starfield wouldn't bother me. If it's choppy and you get tips, you see her trying to sneak back there. She's all
yeah, I do. She's blurred out.
She's
It's
like trying to be
there's a
sneaky.
robber.
But then, like, she blurred out, but then she tried to wave at you.
I love
I
your
don't
wife.
know.
That was super funny. She went to the kitchen.
Yeah, that's white ass clothes. She said she was trying to sneak by, but then she gave up because she realized you could just see her really easily. I'm like, well, it would help if you're not wearing mint green. I don't know.
Well, that light on in the background kind of gave it away as soon as she walked downstairs.
Yeah.
Anyway.
What the hell was I talking about? Oh yeah, if it's a smooth 30 frames a second, it won't bug me. But if it's choppy and inconsistent, yeah, that would bug me a bit. But like, I'm playing a lot of games on my Steam Deck right now. I'm kind of used to games not running at 60 right now. Because if it's a smooth experience, I'll be fine.
Right.
But I also have, when it comes to open world massive games, I have lower expectations for performance as long as the content's there.
Right. Justin, you have a different opinion, obviously.
Yeah, dude. I mean, FPS is a big deal. Obviously, I'm usually playing like multiplayer games where you want that higher FPS so you can react to what's going on. But I remember going back and playing Bloodborne, I think last year, maybe the year before, and that's locked at 30, and I was like, oh, you can really feel this.
Right.
And it did not feel good.
Yeah, I think I'm at the point. It is 2023. You have a whole new generation of consoles. I feel like Starfield is gonna end up being 30, at least in the beginning. Because it's I know they revamped the engine, but it's still the old Creation Engine. I think that's the title, right? Creation Engine, right? off the top of my head? Okay. I think it's going to be held back by the engine. I think is the problem they're going to run into. It's because I do think their ambitions are probably greater than what, like they want to give. Todd Howard was very like, I want to give player freedom and stuff like that. And if we have to give up graphic fidelity and stuff like that, so you can do more things, we're going to do that. He was very like on point about that. So
yeah, that's literally the same interview I was watching.
Yeah. So, I understand that point of view, but I like at some point you got to make that jump. I think it's kind of getting ridiculous for AAA studios to not be pushing out 60 frame per second games. That should be the standard. But like Gotham, like this isn't just a Starfield thing. Gotham Knights came out and apparently was running very poorly too, right? And not that the game was received super well, but it's just like the expectations are higher. You're gonna charge. Okay, I'm getting way too much into his video. You're charging more, but giving less is kind of what because all first party games are now going to be $70 if you don't have Game Pass, stuff like that. Like, anyways, go watch Mr. Matty Plays video. It's actually a really good video. It's a deep dive into that whole thing. I was just very curious about Tim's thoughts on that because I know he has a higher tolerance for FPS and stuff like that. Also, he loves Bethesda, so
it's not just Bethesda though. I play like if it's an open world game like that, like fucking the Ubisoft games, right? Like I play those still. Like Elden Ring is probably my favorite Souls-like game in part because it's open world. And I just love being able to go wherever, do whatever. Where it differs, I agree to an extent. Yeah, you want that 60 FPS for sure.
Right.
But Gotham Knights is a bad comp for it because Gotham Knights is a game where it's the Arkham style combat. It's the Avengers style combat where you're using abilities, you're countering, you're doing all, you want a high frame rate in a game like that. You want a high frame rate, period, but like you need one in like that because you want that combat to feel smooth.
Right.
Fallout has never run at a high frame rate. Fallout 4, you can get it to go above 70 FPS, not very often. Usually it's like 45 to 60, somewhere in there. If you are in the Boston ruins, it's often closer to that 45. So I think in a game like that where you already have that setting, I don't think it would feel terrible, but I agree. Yeah, ideally you'd have a better engine that runs better. But if it's running at 30 frames a second because there's just so much shit in the game, there's so much happening.
Right.
Because that is one thing that is different about Bethesda games versus other games. Like a good example, Fallout 3. If an NPC says, "Hey, I will meet you at this point on the map," it's not a game. In some games, they'll run to the door and then they teleport there.
Right.
In Bethesda games, they literally walk all the way across the map. When you leave a town, that town, things are still happening. People are going through their day and night cycle. Like it is still loaded in the world. So if that is the reason why we're getting a 30 frames a second, because it's happening on a friggin' galactic scale, I don't have an issue with that at all. But if that's not happening, if it's somehow different than their other RPGs where that's just not feasible because it is galactic scale, then yeah, I'd be a little disappointed. So
I mean, they already have loading screens going from planet to space, so I mean, it's just kind of, and that's kind of like one of the things that kind of like really, I'm very skeptical of Starfield. Just throwing that out there. I wasn't a huge fan of Fallout 4. I've talked about that in the past, right? You can see a lot of the same animations are still being used, especially for the fucking robots. I hate those animations. They're awful. So I want Starfield to be good because I want more value for my Game Pass subscription, but I am not hopeful right now. The things that they're saying, I don't know. But I've been putting up with Pokemon, so what fucking foot do I have to stand on, right? So, but we're gonna move on.
How you like the Pokemon right now?
Yeah, I haven't played Pokemon since Monday. If that gives you any indication,
Falling off.
It's
eh?
Wednesday.
a little bit.
Oh, he took a whole day off, boys.
I'm more interested in playing the new version of Dwarf Fortress, right? Because I can read what's happening on the fucking screen now.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, not all ASCII.
Pokemon really dropped the ball. All I can think whenever I play Pokemon is how did we go from Arceus to this?
Well, you know what the worst part is? Arceus wasn't the best looking game,
Right?
right? But it brought enough newness to like the formula that it was like, okay, I can fucking put up with this, right? Like,
and that's exactly what we were talking about, right? Like with Starfield, if the gameplay is awesome and fun, like
right.
if it looks kind of bad, whatever. That was Arceus, man. Like they brought new things. It was fun to play. Very enjoyable. And the new Pokemon game is not that.
It's not like I like the new Pokemon game. I like the exploration part. It didn't take it far enough. Like it's just like I feel like we're still another iteration away.
It's always
Whatever.
one step forward and two steps backwards with Pokemon.
In some kind of capacity.
Mhm.
Like Justin and I were talking about this, Tim. Why the fuck is like they just need to combine Pokemon Snap and Pokemon at this point, right? The camera functions in the game, make it part of the of the Pokédex, like taking pictures of these motherfuckers. Like it adds more to the game just on a basic level, right? Instead of just catching them. Now you're kind of getting into like the research
The
piece.
research from Arceus was so fun.
Right.
Instead of just catching a
was.
Pokemon once and being done with its Pokédex entry, you had like these multiple tasks that you had to do, which made the outbreaks make sense because you need multiple Pokemon to complete them.
Dude.
Now the outbreaks are pointless. It's stupid.
Right. It's the shiny hunting. That's all it is.
And it's so much rarer to encounter shinies in this game versus Arceus.
I don't know, man. Yeah. So
I got to make my name on the game, and then Logan has taken it over, so I haven't played it.
It's perfect for Logan. I'm happy for Logan because you want to know why? Because he gets his like first like few Pokemon games is already open world. He didn't have to wait like 2 decades for this fucking shit. He just gets it.
Was Brilliant Diamond.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
And that was like a more traditional Pokemon game, right?
Yeah.
It was still
So
linear,
kind of.
but he got to experience the bases.
Yeah.
I don't know how much he got into it, but that had bases and shit or whatever. That obviously isn't in fucking Scarlet and Violet because they gave you a dormitory you can't do anything with.
That's exactly
that was obviously going to be customizable, but they didn't fucking make it that far. Anyways,
we have a laundry list of issues with this game.
Yeah, dude, there's a rabbit hole. All right. So that's the expectations for y'all, right? Justin, we talked so much about Starfield. Remind me what the fuck you said. Kojima. That's what it was.
Kojima.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
I'm sure we'll hear from Kojima. I would love for it to be about a video game, but I'm not hopeful that it will be.
I'm gonna be honest. I've been a little bit out of the loop because I've been sick. I don't, you can kind of hear it in my voice. I'm starting to kind of feel better, which is awesome. But so I don't really know what to expect. I personally would love to see something on Fable. Because there's been interviews and stuff like that where like, hey, like I forget what the guy's name is. He's a higher level exec at Xbox, and he's like, I'm ready to show things, and the team's like, fuck you. We're not. Like, chill the fuck out. You know what I mean? And
it was Matt Booty.
Yeah, that's who it was. Okay. Yeah. He did an interview and Matt was like, "Oh, I'd love to show this." And they're like, "Nah, fuck you." They're like, we're not doing that.
I still think it's weird that it's Playground that's doing it.
Hey, I want to see it because I had so much fun. Even though Fable, even Fable 3 wasn't that great. Fable 1, Fable 2, or whatever, I had so much fun with those games. I love
play Fable 2.
Absolutely great games. That was still Lionhead Studios back then, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Lionhead Studios, which led to a lot of the lessons learned by Xbox and where we're at these days.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched that documentary on Xbox, it's like 6 parts or some shit.
Check that out.
It's
really good.
Yeah, it's super good. I watched it at jury duty.
Fucking MOBAs, Xbox.
Well, they're trying to buy Activision Blizzard, so I mean,
I guess they would own Heroes of the Storm then.
They would. I thought you said MOBAs, and for some reason I thought of fucking Candy Crush.
Mobile games.
MOBA, same thing.
Yeah. So, anyways, all right. real quick, we're gonna go through game of the year stuff or whatever. What do we think is gonna be the game of the year? Do you have the nominees up? I'm sorry, I don't. I'm unprepared.
Yeah, let me pull that up. Ba-ba-ba-bam. The nominees for game of the year.
I know we all have the same one, but
World premiere.
World premiere. Game of the year was up for Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
I simultaneously love and hate that Stray is on this list.
I know, it seems so odd. Game of the year?
Yeah, it's like I'm very happy that it found an audience and that it was a beloved game and that like people are like, yeah, this game's awesome. But also like no one's really voting for that, are they?
I mean, it doesn't seem like a real game of the year contender
Okay,
from everything I've heard about it.
Here's my question for you then. Is this a weak year in general, would you
No.
say?
I don't think so.
I think there's a strong 3 with Elden Ring, God of War, and Xenoblade. I think those 3 all on their own. If they were by themselves in any other year, actually, here's a better question. Better question: how did Stray beat out Horizon Forbidden West?
Well,
Forbidden West is on
Forbidden
the list.
West is on there too.
Oh, did I miss
Yeah,
it?
that's on there
Yeah,
too.
so
my bad.
Plague Tale, Elden
I
Ring,
just thought
God of
about
War,
that.
Horizon,
Yeah.
I'm still
Stray,
sick. I'm still
Xenoblade.
working through it.
I
Leave me
know.
alone.
You're good.
Shit. But yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I'd call that weak. I feel like Stray making it in there is really weird.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
It seems very bizarre that Stray was like thrown in there. It feels like because most categories had 5. Game of the year they had 6, and Stray's included.
Yeah, it's definitely a game that was like very popular. Like everybody was talking about it when it came out and stuff. But after it came out, I didn't really hear anybody talking about it. So
everybody was talking about it for like 2 weeks and then it went away.
Yeah,
So,
the description for the game of the year is also recognizing a game that delivers the absolute best experience across all creative and technical fields. So, I don't know. Without playing it, I mean, maybe it is just an amazing experience, but looking from the outside in, it doesn't. I mean, it's not Elden Ring, okay? It's not Elden Ring.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not.
I'm going to make a prediction. So, I think we're probably all in concurrence. We all voted for Elden Ring, right?
Yeah.
I did, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't think Elden Ring's going to win though. I do think it's going to be a victim of recency bias.
I don't.
I remember you talking about that earlier in the year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because think about what happened with Valheim last year. Valheim didn't wind up on Game of the Year or Best Indie. It was just Best Debut Indie was the only thing it got nominated for. And I was like, really? This was like the game that everyone played for 3 months solid.
Yeah.
Nobody talked about any other fucking thing in 2021 other than Valheim from February until midsummer.
Hell yeah. That was a great time.
And then it wasn't nominated for Game of the Year, wasn't nominated for Best Indie. It was just Best Debut Indie. Now, I'm not saying Elden Ring is Valheim in like the way that, I mean, Elden Ring was a cultural phenomenon as well. Like people, but God of War is also. God of War is narratively the best game to release this year. In terms of like technical direction, probably the best game to release this year. It doesn't have a lot of the things Elden Ring had going for it because Elden Ring is unique.
Right.
It's an open world Souls game. That doesn't exist. God of War this is more God of War 2018. It's just more of it. But I do think that because remember, this is picked by a jury of mostly games journos.
Yeah.
I think Elden Ring will win the players' vote.
Yeah, it's broken down into percentages, right? Isn't like
Elden
the
Ring
jury
is
is
not
like
good.
90% of the vote, and then the players are 10% or something?
Yeah.
Now, I will say though that this year I think there are definitely people on the game or on the board that or on the jury that will pick Elden Ring, but I think that there's enough enough recency bias that enough of these game journalists will be like, yeah, God of War.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where they come down on it.
The fucking Guardian is on the jury. Like, what does the Guardian know about video games? You know what I'm saying?
The entire The Guardian.
Yeah.
I will say that the main difference between Elden Ring and Valheim, Elden Ring was made by FromSoft. Valheim was made by like 5 dudes it came out of fucking nowhere. It's just an indie developer, right?
It was so unexpected.
Right. It was Elden Ring was like hyped marketing, like that whole fucking thing, like, and it like you said, dominated the conversation for 6 months. And honestly, I feel like Elden Ring is this genre defining because it even got my bitch ass to get in there and fucking play it.
Yeah.
I own so many Souls games and I do not play them. I put 60 hours into Elden Ring, which is just a huge accomplishment for like me, because that's my normal barrier for games that I really, really like. I hit about 60, 70 hours and I start to fall off. That's just, I've noticed that in my Steam library.
This was the entry point for so many people who have either been like put off from trying the games, or they've tried them in the past and they didn't like them. But for some reason, Elden Ring clicked with so many people.
It's more approachable.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I don't have to bang my head against the wall.
Yeah,
I can run away and go do something else.
It's honestly at work when I talk to people about it, they're like, what game do you recommend that I check out this year? I'm like, okay, what kind of games do you like? If they say anything that's open world or RPG, I'm like, you should check out Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, are you familiar with Dark Souls? And they're like, yeah, I hate those games. They're too hard. I'm like, don't let that scare you. Here's where it's different. If you run into a boss you can't beat, you get on your horse, you ride to a completely different area of the map, you do your thing, you come back when you're ready. You don't have to beat that boss to progress.
100%.
It's way more approachable. So I think people.
It's the best thing about the fucking game.
Yeah, those options. It is like you said. It is everyone's favorite Souls game, with the exception of people who are just being contrarian, I think.
Yeah.
Speaking of people and their opinions about Elden Ring, Elden Ring kind of caused some fuss in the Game Awards by being a nomination in the Best Narrative category.
So here's my opinion on that. Just because it doesn't slap you in the face doesn't mean there's not a narrative. And that's just kind of like Dwarf Fortress is a fucking perfect example, actually.
Yeah, actually.
Right?
Yeah.
Because if you're playing Dwarf Fortress and you're not reading like the captions and stuff, shit that's going on, you can miss so much. But it's optional, right?
Mm-hmm.
But just because it's optional doesn't mean it's not there. Right? Doesn't mean that there isn't like, now granted that's a procedurally generated story and all that kind of stuff. I know there's a story in Elden Ring. I don't give a fuck about that. I'm trying to beat that big ass dragon looking bitch over there. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm interested in doing. But I know that there's a story underneath. I know that they hide a story and item drops and things you can pick up and random shit you can find.
There's a whole YouTuber whose entire business model is based on it.
Right. Like, I don't think there's a issue with it being nominated. Now, it winning might be different, right? Like that's different. Because when you're looking at games, who is all in that category? Because I know God of War is.
A lot of similar faces here. Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, and some game called Immortality.
Yeah. I didn't hear about it until the Game Awards, so I don't know what the hell that is. But anyways, like, I think people just have a hard time not. So I call games like God of War and Horizon, even though like they're open world, semi-open world. In Plague Tale Requiem, right? They all kind of fall in the same like open world to semi-open world. They all still feel like roller coaster games, right? Because there's all certain mile points that you're hitting in the story, right? Elden Ring doesn't have any of that shit, but it's still there. You just gotta fucking find it. So just because it's different doesn't mean it doesn't belong there. Is this, I guess, the main thing I'm getting at? You know what I mean?
So, Elden Ring, it does do the typical Souls thing where, there's a lot of the lore that's buried in item drops and stuff. Like item descriptions will tell you way more about the world than you will find just by playing through the story. But it tells its story and its narrative through its bosses. And there have always been cutscenes in the Souls games. This game has more cutscenes and more direct story than any other Souls game. If you actually like Dark Souls 1, for example, if you actually take the time to learn the story of Dark Souls 1 and you actually research like Gwyn and his children and what you're doing in the world, It's actually kind of a beautiful, crazy story. But that one is so below the surface, you gotta dig for it.
Right.
Elden Ring is more in your face. But yeah, it's not telling you the story in your typical dialogue choices and cutscene after every level where it's going to explain through Kratos talking to Atreus about what's important, what your next goal is. Like, no, yeah, you got to figure it the fuck out. But at the same time, FromSoft is usually much more subdued in their storytelling. So it's kind of interesting that at the same time, yeah, it is more under the radar with the story than the other games on this list. But also, it feels like FromSoft spent more time on actually telling you the story this time than they ever have before. So I can see it both ways. I think the story from the world perspective of Elden Ring, the story of the world of the Shattered Lands, of the lands between, is beautiful. But it's not going to tell it to you in your typical narrative sense. So I can see it both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it really comes down to like a narrative style where what Elden Ring and From Software usually does is they really invite the players to speculate on why things are happening or who this character is that's referenced in this item. And I think that's a lot of fun for players, trying to weave the narrative together in their head. And then as they're playing the game, they're getting checks against what they think is happening to try to figure out, was my narrative correct? Oh no, actually this is happening. So it's a little more interactive in that sense. Yeah. I think it's definitely going to go to either Elden Ring or God of War Ragnarok. Plague Tale Requiem looks very interesting, very cool. The problem is I haven't played all these games, you know?
Right.
I
Well,
think you'd
yeah.
like Plague Tale. I think you would like Innocence and then play through Innocence. Requiem's more combat based. I think you'd like it.
Both
Yeah.
on Game Pass.
Both on Game Pass.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that. I think Horizon has actually a really good shot at the narrative. I didn't play Horizon, not the new one. I've played the old one. I didn't beat it, but that's my thing.
The usual.
Yeah. But I just everything I ever heard about Forbidden West or whatever, I think it does have a really good shot to win that category. I still feel like it's gonna lose to God of War just because God of War is like fucking like. Even if it's not the best, here's the problem with God of War. Even if it's not the best story on the fucking planet, it has so much clout that I think it'll just win off clout. Really, more than anything.
I hope that Horizon Forbidden West can win some stuff in here, just because then it get overshadowed last Game Awards as well. Because something just came out was like, what is that?
Yeah, Horizon. It was the original God of War.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Could you? Oh.
Yeah.
Zero Dawn got overshadowed by God of War the first time, and it would be hilarious if that happened this time too.
Yeah.
But also, I do hope that Horizon wins something because it is a beautiful game and it's got some cool stuff to it. But
I think
narrative. I think God of War has that one in the bag.
Yeah. The only other category I wanted to talk about on here was the best ongoing games. So this is for outstanding development of ongoing content that evolves the player experience over time. The nominees were Genshin Impact, Fortnite, Final Fantasy XIV, Destiny 2, and Apex Legends. And I just want to say, fuck the Game Awards for not having Sea of Thieves on here, okay? Fuck the Game Awards for not having Sea of Thieves on here.
No Man's Sky, Valheim, Warframe. Tell me with a straight, Cody. I know you played Genshin more than me. Tell me with a straight face that Genshin is a better game than Warframe. I'm not saying that Genshin's bad, and I'm not saying Warframe is like head and above better, but like better.
I think
I don't.
They do be putting out a lot of content.
There is a lot of content in Genshin, and I think like that. I was just thinking about Warframe's come out with a lot of cool stuff too. Here's my issues on this list: Apex, and Destiny.
Get the fuck dude.
Yeah,
get Apex out of there, absolutely. And Destiny, like, man, come on, man. They vault their content.
Exactly. They vault their content. So how is that the best I'm going?
Evolving.
My biggest, I will say who probably wins this category regardless is going to be Final Fantasy 14.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be Final Fantasy 14. Just
thought it
because
was
of
Fortnite.
dude,
14,
the year
yeah.
that they had that was earlier this year. Am I wrong? When they had to fucking close servers and shit because so many
Yeah.
people were buying the
Buying the
fucking game.
houses and shit.
Yeah, and
Wasn't that last year?
they couldn't sell the game
Maybe that
anymore.
was
Like,
last year. I can't remember.
was it
I think
last?
it
I
was.
don't
I
know.
think it was last like August.
There's always
Maybe it
something
was.
going on though. Like,
I know.
Yeah.
they're always adding cool new stuff to that game, and it's always
Yeah.
just like a home run. Everything they do is so on point. Like the community
Yeah.
loves everything they do. They just added like Animal Crossing to the game. Basically, you get like an island home. You
Kind
can
of made me
decorate
want to
it and
play it.
shit. Yeah,
Kind of made me want to play it. I ain't gonna lie. When
yeah,
I saw that, like, I was like,
yeah.
I like me some Animal Crossing. I'm not gonna. So,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it'll
I-
probably be 14. I think Fortnite absolutely deserves its place on this list,
Yes,
and they do
yeah,
an
it does.
amazing job of constantly adding new shit, refining what they've got every season.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think though, because there's one other category that I think is kind of weird because I feel like there's a game in best community support that should be in best ongoing because it's in community support because of ongoing content, and that is No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky. No Man's
Oh,
Sky
hmm.
should be in that category 100%.
Yeah, yeah.
It should
Yeah.
always be in that category until
The,
they stop.
the other games that I mentioned are ones that maybe there's just some bias there, like Warframe. Okay, maybe other people don't like Warframe as much as me. That's fair. That's fair. It's Space Ninjas. It's not for everybody. I get it. Not as
I just
cool
don't
as
think
Space
I
Ninjas.
just don't
It's
think
still-
Warframe's user base is as big as it used to be, kind of thing.
Probably,
You know what I mean? Because it's an older. What is that? 2020.
It's been around for a while.
bro. We started playing it
13?
in 2013 with beta.
Yeah,
Like you and me
it-
were in the beta. You're the reason
Yeah.
I got into it.
Yeah,
I
Like,
blame you.
yeah. I mean, I'll take that. Like, you played it this long, but I mean, like, I think that's part of it. And because if you look at these games, all these games have fucking gigantic player bases.
Yeah, that's true.
All five of them have gigantic.
They're
player bases.
definitely weighting these
All the-
nominations based
Yes.
on players.
I do agree. Sea of Thieves should probably be in here, but yeah, that's 100% what this is. Like, this is who has the biggest player bases, and we're gonna put them in here.
Mhm.
By the way, the best community support games, it's the same list except Genshin is swapped with No Man's Sky.
Yeah, it
That's
is the
funny.
same list. So I don't know, but anyways, I do think Final Fantasy 14 won that. Destiny 2 wins that shit. I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm not gonna lie.
Although I will say the next Destiny expansion, the cyberpunk looking one, actually
care.
looks kind of cool.
I don't care. I will never care. They did, dude. They fucking just steal
Been
money.
burned.
Fuck them, dude. I hate them. Anyways, also I know that was the only other one you wanted to point out, but I did want to say if Stray doesn't win Best Indie after being a fucking Game of the Year nomination, I'm going to die.
That would be surprising. What's it up against?
Cult of the Lamb, Neon White, Sifu, and Tunic.
Ooh,
I feel like I was mad about something not being in there the other day.
I don't know about Sifu or Tunic, but the other ones would be big
Sifu
contenders.
is so much fun. Dude, did you hear that the guy who makes the John Wick movies got the rights to make a fucking Sifu movie?
No way.
It's
That's
gonna
cool.
be phenomenal.
That sounds
I am
great.
excited. Sifu's a ton of fun. It's just very complicated for my dumbass, and so I have fun with it. Like it's so much fun. The premise is unique with like every time you like die, you just age, and it's just
Mhm.
it's very good. I don't know how they're gonna make a movie out of that. So I would personally vote for Sifu, but I didn't play. Cult of the Lamb is the only other game on this list that I was really interested in.
Yeah,
So,
I've seen a lot of good things about it.
yeah.
How all these games on the best indie category are deserving to be there. I
They
can't
are.
look at any of them and be like, this should be here over this. But how is Vampire Survivors just in best debut indie?
Because I feel like Vampire Survivors fell off after it released.
Hmm.
I do.
don't know.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking V
The other
Rising.
vampire
Yeah,
game.
you're thinking the other Vampire Survivors
is-
spawned an
yeah.
entire genre of game.
Well, respawned because it was
Respawned, yeah.
yeah.
But
Because that's why I play Soulstone Survivors right now. That's
Yeah.
like one of my favorite go-to games right now. Because kill time, it's a ton of fun.
Yeah.
I get that it's a more simple game, so there's not as much going
Yeah.
on. There's probably not as much that they had to code into it. There's a lot. There are legit reasons why you could argue it's maybe not as good at its core as these other games. but it still makes me go, wow, how is Vampire Survivor? How did you not make a 6th spot for that? Just to have it on the list, because I think it's deserving based on the fact that
It is.
it respawned an entire
Yeah.
genre of game.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, I don't know many people who have not played it, you know?
Yeah.
Well, it helps when it's like a $3 price point,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
Like,
It's like, how much more indie can you get? The game costs $3.
Yeah.
Everyone plays it.
It's
You can play it
also-
on a potato.
it's also on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Like this. I don't know. I probably would have put Vampire Survivors on there instead of Neon White.
I think that's probably where
Neon
I'm at
White's
too. and
pretty
that-
fucking cool.
I was gonna,
No,
yeah, I was gonna say,
it's
no
cool,
disrespect to
but-
Neon White, but like just based on
Player
the
base and shit. Yeah.
yeah,
The
it's again one
impacts
of those
it
like
had, yeah.
cultural
Yeah.
impact in
Yeah.
on the gaming culture. I don't mean cultural like you walk into Target and say Vampire
No.
Survivors and people are gonna know what the fuck you're talking about.
Right.
But like as far as gaming culture, it had a massive impact where now you get all of these copycat games trying to replicate that success. Whereas Neon White, it's a cool concept, cool looking game. I've watched some gameplay of it. I watched some reviews. I was like, I might get it at some point. But like outside of reviews, how many people are just talking about Neon White? How many people are like just booting it up all the time? How many copies
Right.
has it sold? You know,
I've only seen a couple of people on my Steam playlist
yeah.
with it. So I'm looking at these other categories. Oof.
There's a lot. Elden Ring is available for all of them.
I'm glad that they fixed the.
Bro.
I think it was last year. It was like best sports was also in the same category as
Racing or
simulation and
something,
strategy. Yeah. Now
It
it's
was
like just
awful.
sports and racing is its own thing,
Hold
and
on.
that's better.
Hold on. Tell me, this is the game. Tell me what is out of place here. Best role playing game. Tell me the game that you don't feel like should be nominated here out of these 5. Elden Ring, Live Alive, Pokemon Legends Arceus, Triangle Strategy, or Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Arceus.
Best RPG?
Best role playing.
Yeah. Role playing
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. What one
Be-
calls out
Triangle
to you?
Strategy. Triangle Strategy. That game had me mad from the fucking demo.
It's hard.
And then I talked to you. I talked to
Yeah.
you about that shit, and you
That's
did
right.
nothing but shit on that fucking game whenever I
Ugh.
talked to you about it. So
I didn't just
that
shit
was-
on it. The combat was amazing. The story was horrible.
So you shit on it because you can't role play in a role play game if the story sucks.
Would you
This
guys
is how it works.
consider a Arceus an RPG though?
Yeah.
No.
You're playing the role of a kid who is teleported to a fantasy world to catch
But
Pokemon.
do you remember when I was like, well, by that logic, Red Dead's an RPG.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't. So I don't.
We
I don't.
we had a conversation on the podcast where we were like, Red Dead is not an RPG. Tim's just wrong, and I was like, okay, that's fair. I don't know.
Opinions can change. I mean, yeah. What is the subtext for the category? What is the definition?
For the best game designed with rich player character customization, progression, including massively multiplayer experiences. Okay, underneath that definition, Arceus should probably be there.
And Triangle Strategy should not, because there's like
No.
very little customization in that game.
Yeah, I don't know. Now, here's the thing: Pokemon's Legends Arceus isn't gonna fucking win that category.
No, Elden Ring.
Elden
You know
Ring's
what?
gonna
This
run
is
away
the
with that.
one. This is
Or
the one where I look
Xenoblade?
at Xenoblade. Nintendo might get a win here because Xenoblade
Yeah,
is very loved this year.
Yeah.
We had
I
a
feel like
weird
it's
thing.
always loved,
I'm
but
gonna
it's
tell a
never in
video
Game
game
Awards.
story about Xenoblade real quick because it's really really fucking weird. We got the like maybe 31 copies for launch day.
Yep.
Sold out day one. We had like 26 pre-orders. We sold out day one. Didn't get a restock for like 3 months.
Wow.
Got no more copies of Xenoblade until like October.
That's weird.
Yeah, it was really fucking weird. I kind of have a theory about that. I think Nintendo may have done that deliberately to drive digital sales.
Ooh,
Because
I can
here's the
see that.
thing, if you buy a Nintendo game from Nintendo, they're not paying themselves a 30% cut to be on the storefront.
Hmm.
But if you're buying it from Best Buy, Target, GameStop, Walmart, wherever the fuck, they're paying that retailer to have it in the store.
True.
I don't know.
Could be.
I could see that. I could see that happening. You're really going to see that start happening when everybody charges us for $70, and they're like, we don't want to make physical copies anymore.
Yeah.
So, anyways, but let's not get into that because that's just depressing. Let's see. I'm just seeing if there's anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Do we want
Vampires.
to talk about Player's Choice?
Oh, yes. No, I want you to talk about Player's Choice because what are the 2 games running away with it right now? I actually already forgot, except for the one that we're going to focus on.
It's been
here.
a fucking bloody war between Genshin Impact and Sonic Frontiers for the Player's Choice Awards. They've been neck and neck for the past like week or 2, and the internet's been going crazy. There have been invasions of subreddits. There's been aggressive words spoken. There have been peacemaking posts and memes. It's been wild. But I'm excited to see Sonic Frontiers take that.
I'm surprised. So we were talking about this. Tim, I think you were getting ready to go in the house. We were talking about this briefly. I'm surprised about Sonic only because like I wasn't interested in playing Sonic Frontiers. The only thing I wanted, and I've talked about this before, I just want to feel the speed difference between level 1 and level 99. That's all I'm interested in, and I just want to run off the edge of the map in like 2 seconds, right? Like, and then I'm done. And like all the reviews I watched on it, like nobody said it was a bad game, but much like you see with like Pokemon Legends Arceus or Scarlet and Violet, really good framework, could have used more time in the oven. And then all of a sudden, I'm just scrolling through Twitter, and I'm hearing about how fucking Sonic Frontiers is blowing away Elden Ring in the Player Choice Award. I was like, what in the fuck is happening?
Yeah,
You want to talk about recency bias? That's some fucking recency bias.
I'm betting that's largely a meme because, although I will say Sonic is one of those games that since launch, like, yeah, if you go by media reviews on launch day, yeah, it was kind of meh. It was like a C. It was like a 76 overall. Like people were, it's okay. But if you look at the user score, what it's happened over the
95% positive reviews,
it just keeps going up because you're not hearing people talk about this, but they've pushed fixes to the game. Right. They've pushed updates to the game.
Right.
They have promised more content coming to the game.
Tons of free content next year.
I did see that.
It's like it is one of those games that's gotten better and better and better the longer it's gone, and it's only been a month, right? But like the perception of it has gone from, oh, it's the best open world Sonic game, but that's not saying much, to, oh my god, this is a good Sonic game, everybody love it, please, which is awesome because Sonic needed that. Like, yes. Sonic the character needed that. He was sad boy, and now he's happy, and Sonic needs to be happy.
I think it was meh boy because his movies have done pretty good after
dude,
they got bullied into fucking changing the character. But
the Sonic movie
that was the
coming
turning point
in,
for the
like,
franchise.
yeah, basically from there on, it's been like Sonic is fucking good. Oh my god, we're in a renaissance of Sonic right now.
We're gonna ignore that Team Sonic released another game this year that was a remake of all the old games that they had.
We're not going to talk
about that. Oh yeah. So there was a song. There was a what the fuck was it called?
We weren't going to talk about it.
Are you talking about Sonic Mania?
No.
Okay.
No, Sonic Mania was made by Sonic Origins, released this year. And Sonic Origins was the one where if you wanted to play reverse mode,
oh, that's
you
right.
had to pay for a higher tier of the game.
Yeah, like, that was weird. Just a mess.
We're pretend they didn't do that because Team Sonic is on a streak, and we want them to keep going.
Yeah. So I put like maybe 9 hours into Frontiers. I've always been a Sonic fan. I'm into the comics. I like the shows, everything. I love the movies. I haven't really played a game that much since like the Sonic Adventure 2. That was the one I put the most time into. I've dabbled with them since, but I haven't really got into them. Jumping back into Sonic Frontiers though, it is just so good. I was telling my friend about it, and they sent me this video that was basically like these people talking, and the dude's like, "Listen, this game is like a 7 out of 10, which for a Sonic game is a 10 out of 10." And I could not agree more with that sentiment. And you know,
That's
I mean,
so true.
it really is fun to play. I really am enjoying it. It doesn't. People talk about the world feeling empty, which maybe it looks empty if you're just looking at it, but when you're running around as Sonic the Hedgehog, it is not empty. You're constantly coming across stuff, and you're constantly going from one place to the next, and it really is a wonderful framework for them to build upon. They're little puzzles, they're cool little collectibles. There's a whole fishing mini game where you teleport to Big the Cat in this pond, and there's this like lo-fi music, and you just chill and fish for a while. And that's actually like an accessibility thing too, because you can get everything you need to complete like the open world stage just by fishing if you want to. If you don't want to engage with the other shit, or like you can't, you can just fish and just see the next
I
thing.
just love that Big the Cat's in the game.
Yeah, dude.
But also, yeah, I will say I played it a little bit on my PS5. It is by far the Sonic game that has done the best job of giving you the feeling of going fast,
Yeah.
because you're going across the overworld, the open world map, and you're getting there lickety split. You know, it's just like, it's so great. I love it.
Yeah, it's really satisfying.
Oh man. All right. I'm glad you guys are loving Sonic. Justin, I have a question that's specifically for you because I know you're the only person who watched both of these. Best adaptation. None of the rest of these count, in my opinion, even though there is. So, all right, there is the Cuphead show, there is Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and there is Uncharted. But we know that the heavy hitters here are Arcane, League of Legends, or Cyberpunk Edge Runners.
Honestly,
which one was better?
Dude, oh my god, that's such a hard choice. They were both absolutely amazing in their own rights. I think they both really did. They really stayed true to the source material and like brought it up. It raised the source material up with it and what they did. Between the two, I'd have to just bring it down to like the animation and say that I was much more impressed with Arcane's animation than I was with Cyberpunk Edge Runners, which was also amazing. But the entire presentation for Arcane, I think, beats out Edge Runners for me.
Arcane is on a fucking stupid level.
I have not watched Arcane. I've watched Edge Runners, and I was like, "Our Edge Runners are really good." But I also watched some Cuphead because my kids wanted to watch Cuphead.
I did watch a little bit of that. That's cute.
Cuphead is very charming. Cuphead is.
I'm not saying that any of those other things are bad.
No,
yeah,
I got
apparently
you. Like,
the
I'm
Uncharted
not disagreeing with you that it
good.
comes down to Arcane and Cyber. I don't know why Uncharted's on this list.
Yeah, dude,
you could have just had 4. Like, Uncharted is. Why is Spider-Man Nathan Drake in somehow? I don't. Why is
Tom Holland can act as other people? I don't know.
Like, no, but he can, but not as Nathan Drake.
I don't know. Anyways, I didn't see Uncharted, but I still haven't watched Edge Runners.
Oh,
but the animation in Arcane, is just, I don't know. Like, look, let's just put this in perspective. I watched over the Thanksgiving break. I watched the Jujutsu Kaisen movie and the new Sword Art Online movie. Neither one of those fucking movies, which is always like way better animation. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about Sword Art Online, which is probably like the most successful anime ever, and fucking Jujutsu Kaisen, which is probably the most like popular shonen anime right now outside of like Bleach and One Piece, because Bleach is coming back or whatever. But Arcane blows them bitches out the water. It's not even fucking close. Like, Arcane, and admittedly, I didn't finish Arcane. Is the worst part.
That's right.
It's still so good. Like, the characters are fucking phenomenal. I hate League of Legends. I fucking hate League of Legends. I love this damn show.
It's funny because so the only reason I ever played it.
That's because I still had nostalgia about playing the Warcraft 3 mod
Oh.
that was Dota,
Mhm.
and I was like, oh, League of Legends is basically that. Let me get into this. Oh no, this is a fucking toxic cesspool. Let's not do this. I don't have the time to get yelled at by 10-year-olds because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'll just go play something else.
I'll just
And
go
that's
play
what-
Pokemon Unite.
Yeah. Or at the time, I think I actually played Two Worlds 2, which was awful, but yeah.
Oh man.
I know Tim has a soft spot for that game.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. Also, I know this isn't gonna win this, but most anticipated game should be
Tim,
Hogwarts
are you
Legacy. I don't
talking?
want to hear anything else.
Tim, we can't hear you.
Yeah, I see his
Yeah.
mouth moving.
Hello?
You looked like a fish.
How did I get muted?
Oh,
I
that was
don't know how
amazing.
you got muted.
Yeah.
But you 100% looked like a fish.
Oh, that was funny. Hmm.
I don't know what happened.
All
I was
right.
saying I think I might be the only person I know who beat Two Worlds.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The first one. It's bad, but I love it.
Yeah.
Guys, we got to talk
Uh,
about some of these games that are getting updates right now.
I know, we do. There's so many.
Oh, we're gonna talk
bad
about
games.
Elden Ring again.
Yeah. And how you haven't been able to try it.
I haven't been able to.
It just came out today.
I know, but like also, how long have I been saying, oh, it's gonna be like Gladiator arenas,
Yeah.
it's gonna be like Dark Souls 2 arenas. I can't wait to play it. And then we found out earlier this week, oh yeah, that's happening. It's coming Wednesday. And I'm like, I'm gonna do it. And then it's like, oh no.
Well,
Do you work tomorrow?
You'll have time.
No, I'm off.
So what are you doing after we're done with the stream? Like
You're gonna
you're
hit the
gonna play it.
Coliseum.
It'll be fine. Oh shit. But yeah, they do have the Coliseum coming. Which I watched the trailer for that earlier. It looks bomb diggity.
Yeah. I tried it out a little bit. It is it's pretty nuts. You can do
Is it
a
queue-
variety
do you
of
queue
game
up like you do
modes.
with Dark Souls?
You do.
2?
You choose the kind of fight that you want to do, and you queue in for it. There's 1v1, 2v2, or no, there's 1v1, and then there's all against all, and then there's teams, and you can choose how many players, up to 6 players. And you can choose whether or not Spirit Ashes are enabled. So you can have 6 people with all using Spirit Ashes to summon shit into the fight, all just going at it. It is crazy.
Hey boys. But,
Bro, I haven't played that game since like May, maybe.
we should probably change that.
Not tonight. I have to work.
Saying.
Yeah, we'll have to get in there and try it out. It's been interesting.
Let me look. I'm gonna look it up right now. Elden Ring.
He's gonna look and see when the last time he launched it was, and it's gonna be
April.
July. Oh, April.
April.
You bitch.
I put 85 hours into this game. All right, that's a lot for me to put into any singular game.
Yeah, I hadn't
don't
played
wanna
it
look
for a
at how
long
many
time
hours I've
until
put-
today.
I don't want to look how many hours I put into it.
A lot,
Scary
enough to
amount.
make it worth it was $60.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, worth $60.
Yeah.
And I got it on Humble Bundle with my discount, so I didn't pay $60 for it.
Let me see. So Elden Ring,
202.
Justin, don't you have like over 300?
What was the question?
How many hours you got in
Hours?
Elden Ring?
I've
Yeah.
got 290 something on my save.
Okay. Yeah. 300.
I'm
Yeah.
very thorough.
Yes. That's a game to be thorough in because you probably still fucking missed something.
Definitely.
That's what NG Plus is.
Valheim Mistlands also came out and nobody's had fucking time to try it out.
No, dude. God.
Like
I haven't played Valheim for a while, but I've been kind of waiting for Mistlands, to like give me a
Yeah.
reason to like jump back into it and start
Right.
playing again. I might fire up the server that I had going and see if I can drag some other people along and take the old long ship up and get fucked up and die and lose all our shit.
Last
you want me to
time I
come with so
played-
you can bring all my shit back
It
to
is
me
a
month later?
tradition. Yeah.
Last time I played Valheim, I dug a river for Cody.
You know what that was?
Haven't played it since.
Wait,
I don't
you wanna-
think
You want to know when that was? The
that
last
was
Game
over
Awards.
a year ago.
The
Yeah,
last
dude.
Game Awards.
Yeah. I
That's
dug
the
you
server.
a river. People don't know. I wish I would have recorded it. I probably spent a good 10 hours.
Well, you
digging
know
a
what?
river.
Now we have a perfect excuse to go back to that server.
Yep.
That's what we have.
Yeah.
I
It looks
remember still being
cool.
there.
They're adding, they've got like some new weapons, new armor, new enemies, new I don't know what else because I didn't read the patch notes to spoil myself. So
Yeah.
we shall see.
Yeah. I was actually planning on playing a little bit earlier today.
They also opened up a new merch store. Guess who they partnered with? Grimfrost.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Did I tell you guys
cool.
about Grownfall Meadery, who I ordered mead from like a year ago? I was looking at their website. They partnered with Grimfrost to make some Grimfrost mead.
Cool.
Yeah.
There you go.
They're all over there, man.
Oh,
I need to get a horn. I keep seeing the Grimfrost drinking horns, and I'm like, I need one.
The XXXL.
Yeah, like I need one.
They're
like,
cool.
I'll live vicariously through you.
You're not gonna have a drinking horn, Cody.
I'm not supposed to be drinking, Tim.
You're not supposed to be drinking beer.
Yeah. What the fuck are you putting in a drinking horn?
Mead. It's made of honey.
That doesn't make it better.
It's better for your heart.
No. You know how much sugar's in that shit?
Listen, it's less sugar than you need.
No, it's probably
to be
more
sweet.
Than you need. Oh my God.
I feel like Tim should be excited about the new Fortnite update, even if he doesn't know.
Fortnite is Doom guy?
No, well, yes, it has a Doom guy. It's got Geralt. It's got Deku. So you should be excited too, Cody.
Would be.
There's a bunch of cool shit happening in Fortnite. But the big thing is Unreal Engine has updated to like 5.1. And Fortnite is immediately adding like new shit. So they're gonna have the nanite, lumen, virtual shadow maps, and temporal super resolution. It's all in the game now.
So Lumen was the thing when we were talking about it in voice chat the other day. Yeah, that's the lighting. That's their global illumination solution. So it's ray tracing, but it doesn't fuck up your entire computer because it's Unreal Engine is just doing it for you.
Yes, dude. It's fucking. I turned all my settings on high just to see what it looked like. I knew it would tank my FPS, but damn, dude, it looked fucking good.
Well, and here's the thing: you have the 5700 XT, right?
Just the 5700.
Okay, so it tanked your FPS, but the fact that you could run it at all, that says a shitload because you know Cody, he's got that fancy graphics card that has the dedicated cores just to do that.
Yeah.
Right. My 6900 XT, it supports ray tracing, but like if I turn it on using stuff that's not Lumen, it fucking sucks. So there's always going to be a performance impact, but like before Lumen, you couldn't have ray tracing in games.
Yeah,
Justin, on your computer, you couldn't. So that's just,
yeah.
You don't need dedicated hardware or AI to do it. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's super kick-ass, and everyone I've been playing with is like, wow, this looks fucking great. So
now I almost want to install it just to see what it looks like. That's kind of part of what it is.
You should install it. We'll jump in and play around so you can see what it looks like.
Would it surprise you to know that I've literally never played a round of Fortnite?
No.
Okay. Also, Tim, remember how we were... Yeah, Boober. Remember how we were talking the other day about your excitement for video games versus hardware?
Yeah.
You can just like clip like the last 45 seconds about how excited you got over that.
What?
And just anytime you need a reminder, you can just play that to yourself.
Man.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it's not.
Here's the thing. I love video games, but like without the hardware and all this cool nerd shit, like yeah, video games are nerdy enough, but without the super nerd shit, then you can't have the video games.
No, I understand that. I'm just telling you.
This is why
if you ever need me to help reinforce my point, we'll just clip that little segment and replay it for you. Anyways, something that I'm very excited about, and I actually convinced myself to buy because I really, really wanted it. It's only $30 instead of $70. Thank fucking God. Dwarf Fortress.
Yeah.
God,
okay, I'm just gonna stop you and say if they would have charged $70 for Dwarf Fortress, it's fucking worth it.
It is.
But also,
honestly,
I'm glad they did.
I'm glad they did. I'm glad they did it, but Dwarf Fortress has been under construction really as a video game for like, I don't know, 2 or 3 decades.
A long time.
Like that's not really an exaggeration. Like it's somewhere between 2 and 3 decades. and they just now did a fully graphical release, and it's very like I've played like 20 minutes of it. I have tried to play Dwarf Fortress many times. This is the most user-friendly version of Dwarf Fortress I've ever played, and that's all I needed. And I have a feeling I'm gonna lose my fucking life to this for a little while because I'm gonna play the fuck out of it because I really enjoy games like this. And Dwarf Fortress lets you do things that all the other games wish they could do, like the whole mermaid thing. I think we talked about 3 weeks ago at this point. So okay, you guys didn't hear about this. Apparently, mermaid bones for a little while were a very sought after item in Dwarf Fortress as like a tradable item, right? You can make a fucking ass ton of money. Somebody built a contraption that basically would force mermaids to have babies.
This is going exactly where I think it's going,
yes.
isn't it?
And then they would, and then the babies would get flushed down the fucking chute or whatever. They would slowly die, and after they died, then they would get harvested for their bones and then traded. Like it's super dark, and the creators had to go and fucking patch the game. And they heard about this, they're like, "Nah, we're not doing all that. Like that's not cool.
You can't
And
be
so
harvesting."
They tanked the value of fucking mermaid bones.
Oh
but
my
like
gosh.
the shit that you can fucking do in Dwarf Fortress, and Starfield wishes it could do what Dwarf Fortress already does. Let me just put it that way.
Right,
That's
these
really what it is.
simulation games with emergent gameplay. They
Yes.
definitely share some DNA there.
Yeah, and Tim's looking for it. He's looking for it.
Dude,
I gave the TLDR of that. It is very much more detailed, and it is disturbing. I am not gonna lie.
There's so much to that game that I've just never even heard of. I didn't even know mermaids were in the game until just now.
I didn't.
I'm definitely excited to finally sit down and play that game.
Only downside, adventure mode is not in it yet, which
you told me a little bit
it's
about
coming
that.
soon. So adventure mode is basically Skyrim but Dwarf Fortress.
Where
really
you just have like a single dwarf.
You're just
cool.
Dwarf. It doesn't have to be a dwarf. They have races and stuff.
Cool.
And you can go around, dude. Have you ever been on the Dwarf Fortress website?
Yeah.
Go check out some of those stories. Those fucking stories, especially like for singular adventures. Like some of the stuff that happens it's insane. And I feel like the only reason I'm kind of a bigger fan of the adventure mode more than the fortress mode is because like you get really attached to that one,
right.
like your one character, right? Where the fortress mode, obviously you have a bunch of people to get attached to. You're very invested in this singular character, and you can see like all the fighting and shit going on. And Tim probably found something super disturbing from the look on his face. But let me finish this real quick.
I'm just listening, and I'm just over here like just shut up and take my money, basically.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, and so but you can see the fighting thing, but you can become. Shane told me earlier he wanted to basically make a dude who goes around and wrestles people barehanded and bites them or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to make a fucking god tier necromancer. You want to know why I want to do that? Because you fucking can. You could ravage the entire planet.
Default to everything. You're like, I want to be a necromancer. I feel like there's something you're not telling us.
No. That comes back from
you. I'm just saying.
No. That comes back. I play one of my favorite characters to play in the original Diablo was Necromancer. So
I'm very glad that I'm the one who grew up across the street from a graveyard and not you. Or I feel like this would be a very much a very different story.
Anyways, Dwarf Fortress. If you want the best procedurally generated stories you've ever seen, like it obviously takes some work because you got to learn the fucking game, but it's unbeatable. It always has been. It's what RimWorld spawned out of. Anyways, all right, I can talk forever about Dwarf Fortress. Who wants to talk about Overwatch 2?
I don't think any of us do. I just wanted to put it on there to bring up the fact that none of us are really excited about anything that's happening with Overwatch anymore.
No.
I played it on launch and I was like, oh, it's Overwatch. Haven't launched it since. Like it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fun, but like it's
I don't
not,
feel
it's
myself
not,
driven to continue to play it. Their battle
no.
pass is really bad. Yeah.
Locking new characters behind the battle pass is really bad.
I heard apparently with this new update that they're making it easier for players to get the new characters,
Yeah, I did
which is a
see.
good
Yeah, I think they made it
development.
so that like for Kiriko, who is the new character from the previous season, you basically go into the practice range and just like use her abilities, and then you unlock her, which is good.
Yeah. So, but other than that, Overwatch 2 still sucks because it's just Overwatch 1 with a new name.
It's the kind of game I would play if someone asked me to, but I would never ask anyone to play it.
Not even for Lucio Ball?
Oh, well, that's a different thing. When they bring Lucio Ball back,
Lucio
me and
Ball's not
Coco are going to
Overwatch,
be playing it
different game.
daily. Yeah. That could be a standalone at this point.
Oh, man. That would, hey, maybe it should be.
I just think, like, I know they were talking about there being like PVE stuff
They didn't
that
do
we're
any
gonna
of their
put in all the
PvE.
time. None of it's in. Well, and like they always did the seasonal Halloween stuff before, but I don't even know if they did that this year.
They did,
And
and there was a new one, and it was fine.
yeah, but like they were saying that was going to be a thing in Overwatch 2, and it's not in.
I know.
It's like there's just no.
It's kind of like how Halo put like their multiplayer out before the campaign.
Yeah.
And Halo put their campaign out before they had local co-op, which never came out.
Baby steps, baby steps.
I'm just glad we can do multiplayer or like online co-op now and
That has
just shoot
been
each
very
other.
fun, dude. That was very fun.
Dude, that one night,
Yeah.
dude, we were going off. I ain't gonna lie, that shit was wild.
That clip of the sword though, like that
the cutscene where your arm is gone and you have the sword.
Let's go.
That shit was marvelous.
Oh,
Halo just got an update. They've added a custom server browser, just like the MCC has. So I was playing Team SWAT on Nuketown earlier. Great. They also added some other stuff. They did like a little bit of cross-core where they have the basic colors unlocked for all the cores, and everyone has all the cores unlocked now if there were any that they did not have yet.
I found
so
that
that's
an
cool.
interesting decision that they unlocked all the cores.
Yeah.
I don't know how I felt about it, but yeah. Anyways,
I felt good about it because there were several that I did not have.
The only reason I didn't like it is because, like, for example, the Eagle Strike. You had to grind to unlock Eagle Strike.
Yeah.
You had to do that stupid event. God knows how many times.
This
and
is
I
kind
did
of this is like a forgiving student debt thing, you know? You're saying I don't deserve my Eagle Strike armor, Tim?
Kind of, yeah. Oh my god, dude. That's funny.
Analogy. Oh my god.
That was good. That was fucking good. I'm trying to find this guy on YouTube that I subscribe to that literally draws out his Dwarf Fortress time. Like he like tells the story and stuff. I'm gonna link it in the chat.
I love that.
It's so good. Anyways, is there anything else you want to say about Halo? Sorry.
They also adjusted keyboard and mouse settings, and they added red reticle. So aiming feels better on keyboard and mouse now. Everyone's kind of complained about it a lot since the game launched. This update, it feels better. So that's good.
They added aim assist from what I was seeing earlier, where it like will slightly auto track, just ever so slightly.
Yeah, which is great.
So now PC players can dominate even more on console players. Like what? That's okay.
The way I think about it, so like before I used my controller all the time because it just felt more natural playing Halo that way. And then I was like, and then I found out there was aim assist. So I was like, I'm going to try and make myself play mouse and keyboard because I feel like even though it's not really cheating, it kind of feels like it's cheating. Now it doesn't matter. Now it's like everyone's cheating, so it's fine.
Yeah, I think that it sounds like the right play. It feels good to play good stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's all we got for game stuff. New
Yeah, we
membership.
will be here tomorrow. Okay, here's this motherfucker. I found him.
Yes, we're gonna do Game Awards tomorrow. Join us then.
Yeah, we'll be here. It'll start at 6:30 Central, so we will hopefully go live right at the same time.
Yeah.
We'll see how well that actually goes because children and things. But
The chaos of life.
oh my god, dude, the tornadoes that live in my house. Yeah, yeah. So.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, that's it for this. Well, for today, I was about to say this week, but we'll be here tomorrow. So
yeah, we'll be back tomorrow.
We'll see you tomorrow, and you can tell us how bad our takes are about the Game Awards.
Yes,
and we will tell you that you're wrong.
We'll freak out about Space Marine.
That yeah, that too. Okay.
Hopefully
anyway,
without my ass this time.
Oh man.
Tim's shown his ass on this channel more than once, unfortunately.
Not banned.
Not yet.
Not banned. Not yet.
Keep watching and maybe we'll be banned.
Maybe. All right. Anyways, we'll be here tomorrow. And we will see you later. All right. Love you. Bye.
Everybody.